I'm Alex Waters, and that is Juliet Ivy. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So good, thanks. Your latest release, Playpen, you described as your firstborn. So, how is musical motherhood treating you so far?
It's great. I'm so excited that the baby has been born and we can all mother her together. I'm just really happy that that project is in the world for people to listen to and make their own. And yeah, it's just been so fun to see all the reactions and to make all the content for the music. And yeah, just to watch it kind of blossom in the hands of everyone else, because that's the best part.
Now, I'm already hearing in your voice the way that you write your lyrics really is the way that you talk. I can tell there probably
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of editing. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but stream of consciousness style of songwriting, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. Everything comes from like my little baby journals that like are just flowing out of my head and my brain. So yeah, it's all really just like straight from brain to paper to song. And those are like the most inspiring lyrics for me, the ones that just come right out of there. So yeah, I love that you say that because I do feel that way as well. It just feels really me, and that's the best part.
Trying to get behind the scenes with your viral single, We're All Eating Each Other. That one, lyrically to me, it feels like something that maybe would be dreamt up under the influence of perhaps some enjoyable substances. Were any weeds harmed in the
It
making of that song?
No, but it does give that. And I know that it does, which is funny because it's like that just is my personality. And everyone is always like, oh my God, like imagine like if my personality went on like psychedelics, it would be like an explosion because I already feel like I'm on them like in my daily life because I'm just like what is going on like all the time, and like I feel like I see the grass moving and like just things like that. So no, but it just comes from like I've just always kind of had fallen down those rabbit holes when I just like look around at the world around me and start questioning like, oh my God, wait, what is this again? Like I'm so confused. And that was really just like a stream of consciousness thing as well. When I was on the subway, I'm from New York, and I was just looking around at everyone sitting around me, and I was feeling really weird about being a human that day. And then I would just started writing it like in my phone, and they became the lyrics.
And it's not depressing because, on the surface, maybe an idea of how we're all going to decay and eventually drink each other in our morning tea. That sounds really sad, but the song's not sad. You're cool with it.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like an acceptance of that and how it's actually quite of a beautiful thing because the initial sentiment is that like we will all die, but like the bigger picture is that in some way we are kind of like eternal, in that like our bodies will like just continue this cycle on this planet. Um, so yeah, it's an acceptance, and I've always felt super scared topic ever since I was little, and I would ask my parents, "What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?" I'd like stay up all night and just be so scared. So that song really helped me personally even find like the beauty in it and find that it's not that sad, and it could be actually a beautiful thing to accept.
It's beautiful. You recently announced that you'll be joining Head in the Clouds Festival in your hometown of New York, and
I
there's
did.
so many amazing artists on that roster. If you
Yeah.
could choose one to do a collab with someday, who would you want to cherry pick?
Oh, I'd say either Deb Never or Joji.
Okay. Now that Joji one would be absolute fire, I'm just saying. Springtime, almost here, not a moment too soon, by the way. I hate winter, and your music reminds me of spring. It's not
Oh,
quite summer. It's definitely not fall. I think spring is the perfect time of year for it. Would you agree?
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it something about that season that inspires you, or is that just kind of how you sound?
I think that season and also bleeding into summer is kind of just what my personality is. So it comes out in the music as well. I kind of just like approach things in like a cutesy, blossomy way. So even if the topics of the song could maybe be like darker, the way that I present them tends to be in that like flowery, cutesy lens. So I think that is a good description of it.
Hmm. Your broadcast channel on Instagram, where you can send your followers messages, is
Yeah.
called the Ivy League. Very clever, by the way, and it
Thank
begs
you.
begs the question, do you have any nerdy obsessions that are like super smart? Would you like to share any of those?
Well, my dad is a psychologist, so I've always loved psychology and have just been very fascinated by like the human brain. But I think that also music, because I'm always pretty like I'm paying attention to what's happening in my brain. I'm looking at like other people. So yeah, I thought I was going to be a psychologist for a little bit in high school because I just find it really interesting, like the human behavior. It's just so complex. So I'd say that's probably the like nerdiest one. Um, yeah. Oh, also, this isn't really nerdy, but I'm really good at directions. Like if you put me in a city for the first time and I like spend a day there and I don't come back for like 3 years, I'll remember where I went and like how to get places that I was at last time. I'm very good at directions. And I think that comes from being in New York. I don't need the map. I know where I am like all the time.
Wow. No, I need GPS to go to work.
No way.
Every time I go to the grocery store, I'm like, where is it again? I better just type it in just to make
Yeah.
sure. Last question for you, Juliet, and that is, with a whole wide year ahead of us, I know that you're working on some music and you've got some performances lined up, but is there
Mhm.
anything else that we can expect from you as you try to make the most of 2024?
Yeah. Um, you can expect more music videos, and to see me live in different cities.
Excellent. Three good things. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for taking the time to talk about
Thank
what you've got going
you.
on. Playpen is so lovely. It's such a breath of fresh air, especially listening to it in the wintertime. It makes me
Thank
think that
you.
maybe things will, in fact, get better after all. Fingers crossed. So, thank you for sharing your music and your
Oh,
time.
thank you so much.